On behalf of the members, staff, and leadership of SPIE and Photonics Media, it is a real pleasure to see you all here tonight. Everyone here is driven to create and launch new products. And while in this room we certainly have competitors, it's also clear that we share a common bond of being the kind of people who work hard to create new products. And I hope you find this evening enjoyable and valuable. In the category of detectors and sensors, we have a man who facilitated the M&A between Sensors Unlimited and Finisar a few years ago and is now a board member for PDLD. Initially a financial analyst with a fascination in portfolio theory, he also realized that the portfolio of people in any business is rather important too. After graduating from the Wharton School of Finance, he worked at top firms in institutional finance, including Merrill Lynch and many others. Nowadays, Richard advises several firms in corporate financing, marketing, and leadership development. Please welcome, presenting the award for Detectors and Sensors, Richard Capaldo.
There's one thing I'm sure of, and that is Brian Williams is going to make the world a more truthful place. And I plan to do my part tonight because I have a confession I have to make in front of all of you. I actually took 4 years of Latin so I wouldn't have to take physics. However, I repented in 1999 when an old friend of mine, Dr. Greg Olson, asked me to help him get his company ready for a liquidity event. He thought it was worth about $40 million, and Sensors Unlimited had huge expertise with a combination of elements, notably indium gallium arsenide. As it turned out, I had to learn something about physics and photonics after all. When I arrived at the Sensors campus and the ensuing 18 months, I learned that there were a lot more things that I took for granted that were not understood by my client and maybe not understood by many of you in the room. I would briefly like to share with you 4 great lessons for any technology company that might want to transition ownership, and specifically companies in the $25 million to $200 million valuation range. The purpose of a business is finding and keeping good clients. Producing quality products that meet the needs of these clients most easily accomplishes that. This requires a repeatable process. So my first lesson is keep your scientists out of the clean room when you're during a production mode. You know, repeatable processes are very, very important things. Repeatable processes, I'll give you an example. You want to win the Indianapolis 500? Make 800 perfect left turns. That's all you have to do. Now you have to do it at 154 miles an hour, but nevertheless, if you can make 800 perfect left turns, you win the Indianapolis 500. If you make 792 of them, you come in third. Knowledge is very, very important, but intellectual property that makes it difficult for somebody to enter your business makes your company worth a lot more. Lesson number 2, don't save money on patent attorneys. Lesson number 3, if you're in the valuation group that I talked about earlier, 25 to 200 million, you're probably not going to go public. You're probably going to get sold in an M&A transaction. And I can tell you one thing, if you're in that size group, the minute you hire your banker, they're going to start working for the buyer. So all I can tell you is make sure you've got somebody representing you in the transaction. And last but not least, do a complete evaluation of your firm. Hire a facilitator to take you through the process of where you are, where you want to be, and how you're going to get there. And all I can say is that when you find out what you have to do to get there, do that, and only that. because most of you spend 75% of your time doing things that have nothing to do with your future. At Sensors, we did all these things, and we sold a company with $25 million in revenues for $700 million. No, we're not done yet. Less than 3 years later, we bought it back for $8 million. A year and a half later, we sold it again for $60 million. And now the nominees for the Prism Award in Sensors and Detectors.
The Hamamatsu C12666MA is the latest addition to the ever-growing micro-spectrometer family.
MAVIS is the very first completely mobile road weather sensor from Luft.
OnDeVia introduces the OnDeVia analysis system.
And the winner is Hamamatsu.
Ooh, can't see anybody. It's too bright up here. It's pretty exciting. I want to thank SPY and Photonics Media for recognizing us. I'd like to thank. It's very exciting to be recognized by our peers, and it's amazing that we got this. But what I really like to do is I'd like to thank our engineering team because of all the wonderful toys that we get to play with, and all of the wonderful photons. But would you like to say something? No. So
I'm too shy.
Our engineers are very shy, but where's the component? But you can't see it because it's so small. But thank you very much.
Photonics West this year in the International Year of Light is even more exciting than ever, I believe. There's a great spirit about it. It's very difficult really to resist the excitement about the potential of this field. The potential to continue to improve our world. It has done an enormous amount already, but there's much more to come. Thank you all for what you've already done. Thank you for being here. We still have a lot to do. Much photonics, much fun lies ahead. Thank you and good night.